All right, real fast. I just want to say happy Sunday to everybody. All glory goes to God. All right, why Richard Allen didn't sell his car and didn't sell his weapon, his gun. And it's pretty explainable. Uh, Everybody was looking for a black PT Cruiser in the beginning of this case. That's what all the YouTubers were putting out. Hello, Miss Pointer Lover. Good morning. I hope your Sunday is going good. Um, let's get back to what I was saying. Now, why didn't he sell his car? Why didn't he sell his weapon? In the beginning of this case, they were looking for a black PT Cruiser or a dark purple PT Cruiser. He knew that. So there was no need for him to sell his vehicle. Now, his weapon. Why didn't he sell his weapon? And that's pretty explainable. Because the police said that he was not, that the girls were not shot. A pistol, a gun was not used. Right? There was no weapon in use, no firearm used. It was all knives, they thought. So there was no need for him to sell his weapon. See, Richard Allen watched this whole case the whole time through. We can guarantee you, folks, that he has been in our chats. Him and his friends were in our chats. 7 years went by. And that's what he did to stay ahead of everybody, probably. If it's him, right? If he is the killer. He's been out there before. He can explain that bullet away. Right? I go out there shooting all the time. He's said that himself. He's been out there. It's a known place where everyone goes to either shoot their weapon or cook their meth or whatever they do out there, right? So that's why he wasn't worried. He knew everyone was looking for different vehicles, a PT Cruiser or a Comet, right? He wasn't worried about it. That's why he didn't sell his vehicle. And the same thing with the weapon, right? Once he heard that there was no weapon used, there was no gun used or anything, if he did do the murders or whatever, he didn't have to worry, right? He didn't have to worry about that. The bullet stuff didn't come out until real late in the case, right? That hasn't come out on YouTube in a long time. What, just last year or whatever? The bullet thing. So he had all that time. He wasn't worried at all. He had no idea they had a bullet because that information was kept on the hush until about a year ago, year and a half, 2 years ago. So he had all that time and he wasn't worried about nothing because they weren't looking for the right stuff. And they sent everybody on a wild goose chase. They told everybody on YouTube, well, we're looking for this vehicle. We're looking for a Comet. We're looking for a truck. Then we were looking for a black truck with stickers all over the back of the cab. Right? That was it Chelsea or one of the people out there said there was. We were looking for way too many cars, and not one of them was a Ford Focus. So he wasn't too worried about it. It didn't seem like he was too worried about it. They weren't showing no photos of the exact car. They were just showing photos of PT Cruisers in a black car. We didn't know what make it was. So I don't think he was too worried about that. And like I said, he was watching social media and the news. And I think he was watching it. Now, you have to be careful because some of these people will throw themselves into something like this. And they'll say whatever. um, to get picked up or charged so they can turn around and sue the state. And I imagine that'll what if Richard Allen is found not guilty, he's going to probably be a very rich man. You know it, and I know it. Now, what we're trying to determine, are these people that stupid where this was all planned so they can sue the state of Indiana and walk away with millions? I don't know. Possibly. All we know, Richard Allen was an Odin. Heck, I'm watching videos yesterday, and they're saying Nick, the prosecuting attorney, is an Odin or a Mason, which now they're showing photos of him and Brad Holder belonging to the same Masonic lodge. This is crazy. Complete madness. Is Richard Allen the fall guy? No, he could have just been at the wrong place at the wrong time, and the killer already had the phone, and Richard Allen was the posse. We don't know. Bridge guy kind of looks like Richard Allen, but that's a video and a still photo from a video at 100 feet away. I can't say 100% that's Richard Allen. It looks like him, same stance maybe or whatever. We really haven't even seen his gait yet, But so do 4 or 5 other guys look like Bridge guy. Until they come up with clearer footage, closer footage. I can't say 100%. Now, I'm not saying Richard Allen ain't part of this madness. He might have very well just been a lookout. And that was it. Didn't do the murders, but he was there, but just a lookout. And that would explain all the other eyewitnesses that say they seen different people there, 4 or 5 people. Maybe. Right? Maybe there was people already waiting at the kill zone, and Richard Allen was the sheepdog to bring them to the killers. Maybe Richard Allen did walk back out the same way he came in through the bridge. Right? It don't make sense. That'd be very stupid. It makes more sense of what he tried to do. And it makes sense with what they're saying with the reports of someone seeing him walking on the road right there by the cemetery. Makes sense. He came in through the bridge. He parked at that building way out there. He walked all the way, came in through the bridge. Right? That's where a lot of people said they seen him. He came in. He sat in the woods. He waited for the right opportunity. If it was even supposed to be Abby and Libby, the target, we're not sure. There was 6 other girls there. He waited. He sprung. Now, myself, it makes sense where they found the girls is right on the trail that leads. It leads from the cemetery down to the river. So it's a boomerang shape. And he probably walked right out of the cemetery and walked down that road. And that would explain the sighting of a woman driving a car that said she's seen a bloody or muddy guy walking on the road there. But he remembered, I think he remembered then, that there was a camera at that building. And he jumped back on the trails right where the girls were dropped off and walked back that way. And that would explain the other sightings of him. So he comes in through the bridge. He crosses the bridge. He has the girls go down there. He gets them to the kill zone, which is very easy. If they were scared and he had a weapon, they probably did exactly what he said. He didn't have to use no force. All he had to do was get them to the kill zone where possibly there was others waiting. I'm not saying that he did it alone. I'm not saying, could he have done it alone? Yes. Yes, he could have done this alone. He had an hour and a half, 2 hours. Yeah. Yeah, he could have done that. Now I noticed we're getting the times mixed up, and I knew that in the beginning of this case that something was wrong because the shadows of bridge guy on the bridge points to a different time, right? It points to a different time than what they were saying. The whole thing, why didn't they hire professionals? They had $1.4 million. A professional only wanted 10 grand to come in and explain all this. Why didn't it? Well, probably someone pocketed that money. 1.5 mil. For one, we're not seeing the experts that we should be seeing in this case, because I got a bad feeling that the people that killed these girls are the same ones that have been killing the other girls out there and the other people out there. And there was a couple guys that were killed, and they were all linked of knowing these guys down there in Delphi, the Delphi crew, the Delphi 7 or whatever you want to call them. So it makes sense to me. Now, I might be wrong, maybe not, I don't know. But Richard Allen had no reason to even think to sell his car or a weapon, because for one, they were looking for the wrong car. And for two, not once did they mention the girls were killed with a bullet, a weapon. So Richard Allen, if he is the killer, he wasn't too worried at all. And everyone, why didn't he move? Why didn't he? Because they had no idea who he was. They didn't have a clear enough footage. He knew that. He knew nobody can make out that it was him. And you can't. I don't care what these people are saying. There ain't no way you could say that's Richard Allen in the videos or any of the photos we've seen. These people have taken them photos and done all kinds of crap to it. Like I said, folks, I got 3 contenders with Bridge Guy living right here in this small little town. Right here in this small little town up north of Indiana. So he knew there was no way. He was right in front of their faces, probably. If it's him. If it's him, it might be him. But I need more proof than that. And we want to know who his friends are. We want to know what was on the 26 phones or whatever he had. You know, what I got a feeling is these phones are going to connect him to these other guys in this organization, this crew that they all talked about, little gang or whatever. Let me check my chat out. Good morning, Miss Melly. Great live last night. It's always great to see the great Miss Pointer Lover. I wish the trial was live. Sure. Oh, so do I. This case could have been one of the biggest cases on court TV. If they would have brought in the right people, the right professionals, the right scientists. A lot of people think it's impossible to do one person, but if, like I said, if he had anything that was scaring them girls, then it's very possible he didn't need anybody else but that weapon, and the girls obeyed what he said. So it didn't take him any energy to get the girls to where they were found. Not if he didn't have to carry them. Now, could he carry them girls there or whatever? I don't, that's a long distance, folks. And for you folks out there that are telling us folks that we're full of crap, there's only 49 seconds of video. You folks are dumber than what I thought. There is way more than 49 seconds. You can't get to the top of the bridge to where the girls were in 49 seconds. So that's a line of crap that the authorities fed to you folks. There is more video. And how do we know this? Because Doug Carter said there was numerous voices on the recording other than Abby and Libby's. And we know darn well there's more than 49 seconds of that video and recording. There might be 49 seconds of video, but we know there's more audio recording. If the phone was still recording and she put the phone in her pocket, we don't know. The killer might have took her phone, didn't realize she was recording, and put it in his pocket. While the phone ran, the only thing we had was audio. That's all we had was audio. We had 49 seconds of seeing his face the best we could. The rest was all audio of the murders. Now, I'm not sure. But the police said that they believe that the girls succumbed to death. It was too gory for them to release all the recording because they believe that was the demise of the girls, what we were hearing on the tape. We haven't heard the tape, but that's what the police claimed. So they did not release it. So we knew there was more than 49 seconds of recording. I don't know why these people are saying that, but there is definitely more recording, and there's more to get down to, because you can't get from the top of that hill to the kill zone in 49 seconds. I'm sorry. I don't care if you're Superman. I don't care if you're a 6 foot muscular dude. You can't get them girls off of that bridge to the kill zone. If you had to cross the creek, you ain't getting there in 49 seconds. You just ain't getting there in 49 seconds, folks. And let me count off 49 seconds for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. There ain't no way. 49 seconds, they probably didn't even make it to the creek there. So we know there's a lot more video. And everyone keeps calling it a creek. It's a river. A creek is something you could jump over. Do you folks understand? It's something you could jump over, a creek. That was a river. And yes, it runs fast. The current runs fast when there's runoff. In the springtime, when all the snow melts, where does it go? Down south. Why? Because everything goes down south. It's called, that's the way the forces, the magnetic force, it draws everything to the ocean. So the whole thing ain't adding up. Now, once again, I'm not saying Richard Allen is innocent. I have no idea. I'm not saying Richard Allen didn't commit this murder by himself. It's very possible he did it by himself. He had plenty of time. I don't know if he could do it. He had almost 2 hours. The girls were dropped off. And we don't even know if they're telling the truth of when the girls were dropped off. The whole time thing is not adding up. It ain't adding up. The time sequence. Right? Was there any food in the girl's stomach? Supposedly there was a Jimmy John's cup found there. Right by the creek there, or Now I'm calling it a creek, the river. Uh, was there food in there? What was there pancake in their stomach? Supposedly they ate before they went out there. You got to have 2-3 hours before the food starts to digest and make its way into the small intestine and everything. It was their food. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we're not hearing. If he worked alone, if Richard Allen was alone and did this murder alone, then we figured out his pattern, or we tracked his steps down. That would explain. He came in, he parked at that building, he walked all the way down, came across the bridge. People seen him. He does the murder. He walks out the cemetery, walks on that road. That would explain the lady that was driving the car, said she seen some guy that was muddy or bloody. She wasn't sure. He realizes and remembers there's a camera at that building, and he jumps back on the trail. And that would explain, right before he leaves, people on the trail or the bridge see him again leaving. Now, this is only if he did it by himself. That would explain the sightings. If not, then we got other people there. There was people at the kill zone, and Richard Allen was just the sheepdog to get them to where they had to be. The rest of the people did the other stuff. Richard walked back out through the bridge, and the rest of these guys walked on the street and got out of there or whatever, or rode their bikes or whatever. There was a report of someone riding a bike on the road, all muddy, bloody. Then they were walking with a backpack, and then and we don't know. We were looking for more than one because the police were saying there was numerous voices on recording. So that means there was more than one person there. There was more people there than just Abby and Libby on that recording. So that's my thing. Let me see. Miss Pointer said he's a small man at 5'4". Yes, but at a long distance, Miss Pointer lover. At a long distance, he's going to look small until he gets right up on you. And that is camera projection. When you're looking at something very far away through a certain kind of lens, it looks very tiny. And once it starts getting closer to you, it starts growing. It gets bigger. So as he might have looked 5'4" at 100 feet away through the camera angle, the projection and the format that phone camera is taking. He might have been 5'4", but once he got up on the girls, he might have been a lot taller. I mean, that's why we got two reports, right? They were looking for two people, one 5'10", or somewhere between 5'10" and somewhere between 5'4" and 5'8" or something like that. I mean, I don't know. You got 7 different sketches out there. Wait, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 5 different sketches out there. Not one of them look alike. That tells me that there was witnesses that seen 5 different men out there. 5 different men at the kill zone. And I'm sure the data will show if these people had phones. I'm sure they pinged in that area. I'm sure I think we've already made enough arrests to prove that these guys all. And now they're bringing in Chadwell Davis and the rest of these guys to testify. These are the guys that we were onto from the beginning. And it wasn't much after Delphi that Richard Allen was picked up again for some very bad stuff with a 9-year-old, I guess. A 9 or 10-year-old or something. But we could be wrong. I don't know. We're just couch potato investigators. That's all. He is actually 5'4". Yeah. Oh. But could one man have done this? Yes. The sketch they put out really throws me. They look totally different. Yeah, you're right, Miss Pointer. Each sketch looks different. Not one of them even looks alike. Not one. To me, I got five killers. To me, that's what I'm seeing. I got 5 killers. This is the crew they were talking about. We got 5 sketches. There's probably another 2 out there that might have called the hit. That might have, I don't know, maybe, we don't know. It ain't making sense. We got Keegan Kline, who was catfishing the girls and luring them, trying to get nude photos, hook up with them, whatever. There was other girls out there. Did these guys plan a massive kidnapping of young girls so they can use them for their crew, make their videos, take their porn, pedo photos, and sell them? We don't know. Maybe. We got Chadwell running his mouth on camera about the club or crew or gang he belongs to, and we got these other YouTubers that were running their mouths. Very violent. They've got past of abuse against women, and there's been women that have died down there in Delphi, Lafayette area. Not just kids. There's been young women in their 20s and 30s that were killed down there. Very interesting, though, to see. And it ain't really it just takes time to find out what phones pinged from that area, how many people were there, how many girls were there. I mean, I hate to say it, folks. When Kelsey first gave her interview, she said there was 20 to 30 girls out there. Do you guys remember when this case first started and they interviewed her? Well, we dropped her off, and there was 20 or 30. It was a whole bunch of people meeting out there. And that number started dropping as they put pressure on people. That number started dropping. I'll tell you this much, folks. If there was 20 to 30 girls out there, they might have kidnapped all them girls. And they created this. They took out Abby and Libby as a diversion because they took 20 girls. Nobody's mentioning or looking for anybody else. I mean, I'm just using my head. I know I'm dumb. I have a disability and everything, but this case is freaky. We went from 20 to 30 girls out there meeting at the bridge to 2 girls dead. The rest, nobody knows where they went. Right? Don't you think there would be all these people coming forward saying, all these young kids coming forward saying they were there that day and everything? There hasn't been nobody either. They got away with kidnapping a bunch of kids. Or the story is something mixed up somewhere. Somewhere it went bad. right? But people can't fathom. I mean, is it coincidence? Richard Allen, they said he had knives all over the place. He had not one, not two. They said he had box cutters just about in every room, knives in every single room, and tons of box cutters. Now, it's very possibly he didn't throw away the box cutter because they had no idea what kind of weapon it was. So he wasn't worried about it. He watched everything. If Richard Allen was the killer, he watched every dang thing. He watched everything. That's why he didn't move anywhere. That's why he didn't sell his vehicle. And that's why he didn't get rid of any of his weapons, because there was nothing out there pointing towards a pistol. There was nothing there pointing towards a Focus, a Ford Focus, because all the reports were PT Cruiser, dark black or purple PT Cruiser. That was parked there in the beginning of this case. So he had no reason to do anything. They didn't have a clear photo of him. He knew it. The description of these sketches do not look like Richard Allen. So he wasn't worried. He might have been part of it, but he wasn't worried. We want to know why these sketches do not look like Richard Allen, and each one of these sketches are different. All of them look different. Someone's got some explaining to do. I do want to thank all the great ladies that showed up this morning. God bless you all. It's Sunday. I'm done with the crime. I'm going to do a bird and peaceful Sunday video. As always, I watched my ritual Sunday morning videos, Miss One Woman's Wilderness, or One Woman's Outdoor, whatever it was. And Little Hannah Lee Dugan. The rest of these incredible, independent women. Very talented ladies. Make sure you check out their channels. Great ladies. Folks, make sure you check out Miss Pointer Lover's channel. Miss Pointer Lover is known all over the YouTube crime community. Great lady. Same thing with Miss Melly. Her channel last night was the Mendez brothers. Good God, folks. What does it tell you about greed and evil? Right? These are two men that took out their parents because they couldn't wait for them to pass away to get the will, the money in the will or whatever, or they were taken out of the will or whatever. I don't know. Money is the root of all evil, they say. Miss Pointer Lover says, oh, Spencer Ashworth. Good morning, Miss Spencer Ashworth. Miss Pointer Lover says, I would never put myself through what he's been through for any amount of money. But that's the world we live in, Miss Pointer Lover, where these people will take a risk. They will put themselves at the crime scene, hopefully to get arrested. They know it's not them. The proof shows other words. And then once they get arrested and charged or whatever and found not guilty, then they countersue and they get a giant pile of money. It's a racket. I learned that from watching a lot of mafia stuff. When the mafiosos say everything is a racket. And they're right, just about. I'm not going to lie. The Italians, mafia is right. They'll take this stuff. And somehow, if there's a way to make a penny off of it, a dime, a dollar, they'll do it. It wasn't the Italian mafia like some of these YouTubers were saying. It wasn't the syndicate. It wasn't the Mexican uh, mafia, the cartel like these guys were saying. In so many cases, not even the Delphi case, they were saying that. They were saying that in the Summer Wells case. No, no, this was none of that. Uh, that that's bad business for the mafia. That's bad business for the cartel if you're killing little girls. And believe me, folks, these organizations know that that's bad business. That would bring heat down on their organizations. They wouldn't take the risk of doing something like that. But I can also say that I am from a time and a different time of mafia and gangs where they had respect. There was rules. You don't kill little girls. You don't sell massive amounts of drugs because that brings heat down on your organization and your family. So, but that's changed. All the old time mafiosos and everything are out, and it's all turned over to new generation or new gang cartels or whatever, and they're crazy. Though, can I see it of them doing something? Yeah, right. If yeah, revenge kill or whatever. Yeah, but very bad business, and I don't see any organization claiming that. And as far as Odins go in all this, do you think these people are that dumb to do this sacrifice, leave the girls there with evidence pointing towards a sacrificial Odin? Folks, I hate to say it, but they would be killing Odins left and right. If this comes out to be true and it's a Masonic lodge, the citizens of America, these other gangs and clubs that these Masonic people blamed, they would be killed. Every single person that belonged to that Masonic lodge would be hunted down and they would kill. They're baby killers, rapists, pedos. They would be killed, hunted by real OG gangs and mafias and syndicates and the mafia. So all that bull crap, them dudes got their shit. Delphi got themselves into this madness. These YouTubers got themselves into that madness, not me. Not me. I don't even know why these YouTubers would claim they had something to do with it, just to get views, subs, and be top dog. I don't even know why Anthony Greeno. And Greeno's a good creator, don't get me wrong. But I can't let people just walk away because they're a good YouTube creator and a good editor or whatever. I don't know what's wrong with these people. Why would you even put yourself in that predicament? Why would you even say anything that some of these YouTubers said for clicks and views and subs or to be top Delphi YouTube channel? I don't know. I don't know. And I don't think I'll ever know. And they flock to them. They flock to these channels. Why? I have no idea. I've only seen this in the 70s and 60s and everything with Manson family and then Jonestown, right? Jim Jones or whatever that guy's name was. Some kind of hallucinogenic. I don't know. Maybe they're dosing all of us in America and we're just zombies and believe whatever they tell us. But But is it possible for one man to do, my opinion, this mess? Yes. With the time he had, the location of that area, yes, he had enough time to get rid of the girls and stage it. He didn't have to spend any of his energy carrying the girls. If he had a weapon and they did what he said, they'd walk right there. I don't even know if they crossed the river. I think they might have had that film flipped. The girls passed them and they were on their way back because they had to get picked up. And there's a path right before the bridge that leads all the way around to where the girls were found dead. So it's possible he got them on the way back and they never crossed the river. They never went through the river. It's possible. They took that trail right before the bridge and it walks all the way around back towards the cemetery. The girls were close enough. He could have took the clothes off, walked down to the river, wet them to make it look like they crossed the river. But they really didn't. It's possible. There's hundreds of scenarios. What was on them phones? We are hoping they get all the data off all them phones he had. Were there any young girls or women or anything on them phones nude? Were any of these guys, any of these suspects, any of these people, and they will, if these guys know what they're doing, if this so-called forensic team or investigators know what they're doing, and they have them phones, they will track every single one of them numbers that Richard Allen either made a call out of them phones or someone called him. All them numbers will be gone through because we think it's a ring. Right? You had Keegan Kline, who was picked up first. 12 days later, he was released. Right? They picked him up. They released him. He boot scoop boogied out of town. As soon as he got out, he split. He took off to Vegas. They were looking for him. They couldn't find him. He split to Vegas. He was a pedo guy. He had over 300 photos of young girls or kids or whatever on his phone. Was he connected to Richard Allen? Was he connected to Chadwell, Kurtz, all them guys down there, Davis, and the rest of these guys that were all down there? Is it the Delphi crew? Very well possibly could be. Drugs, prostitution, gang stuff or whatever, club stuff or whatever. Maybe. I want to thank all you ladies for stopping in today. You all be safe. God bless you. And another thing, folks, one more before I leave. He changed his height on his fishing license. For all them years, his fishing license was 5'4". After the Delphi murders, and they narrowed it down that it was a short dude, what did he do? He changed his fishing license. Instead of 5'4" to 5'6". Coincidence? Maybe. Possible it was a coincidence. it's very well possible. But it very well possible may be that he changed it because he might have thought they were looking for someone shorter. We don't know. We got to get the data off of those phones, them 26 phones. Now, is it common? Now, people are making a big thing. Well, this is unbelievable. He had 26 phones. People don't do that. People do keep their old phones. That's very common. I don't know why these professionals are saying, well, that's not too common. That's very common. For one, people don't want anyone to get the data off of them. And for two, there's money inside them phones with minerals and metals. That's why people keep their phones. They can smelt down their phones, right? They bust them apart and they get the gold stuff out of them. All these chips and everything are covered with gold. So they smelt it down and they get the gold out of it. And they don't want people to have their data. So they just keep their phones. No, it's very common. Now, I don't know if them phones were buried. If they were buried in the backyard, then that's a different story. But is it common for people to have old phones laying around? Yeah, it's very common. I got 4 or 5 of them, right? But I know there's gold in them. I got 5, 6 computers. Why don't I throw them away? Because there's gold in them. Every clip, every pin is covered in gold, gold plated. There's gold in them. It takes a lot to smelt it down to get it to, but there's actually gold in them. And that's why people hold on to stuff. Hey, all I know is we want the right people. And I'm going to tell you is this much on this channel. You folks, well, Keegan Kline ain't nobody. He didn't do the murders. Well, bull crap to you, because it's the way you folks think is the reason why we got so many rapists, pedos, and killers running the street. Okay, Keegan Kline didn't do the murders. He wasn't there. He didn't kill them. Keegan Kline was a pedo freak. That's how he made his money. That's one pedo off of the street. You people just throw him to the side. He ain't nothing. He ain't. Wait, listen. Keegan Kline is part of this case, whether you folks want to like it or not. He's a pedo. He might not have been there and done the murders, but Keegan Kline already admitted that he was at the bridge that day, that time, with his father. He admitted that. Keegan Kline admitted that. Now, whether that was true or not, I have no idea. To me, it was a ring, a club. You had Chadwell on social media talking about a club. He would never do that to him, and his club would never do anything like that to a young girl. But yet they caught him with a 10-year-old chained up in his basement after the Delphi case. It makes sense to me. They all knew each other. Small little town like Lafayette and Delphi, everybody knows they knew each other. Somewhere down the road, their paths crossed ways, whether it was through drugs or the bars. And there ain't too many bars in Delphi. All right, ladies, you have a great Sunday. God bless you all. All glory goes to God. And I think we've just opened up the tip of this case. I think there's many more involved. And even if they weren't there at the murders, whoever Keegan Kline was selling photos to or sharing them with are now being watched. And that's the way it should be. I know a lot of you people say, well, that's crazy. You can't do that. They're not part of this case. They didn't kill, well, they're pedos. And there's one thing in America we don't want no more. This has gone on for maybe 20 years ago. 30, 40, 50 years ago, you can get away with this stuff. Right? But not today. It's 2024. We don't want these people on the streets. Heck, they're making up fake warrants. They're making up fake crap. Right? Innocent people are being jailed. We're done with this madness in America. It's a beautiful country. Let's make it to where it was. And get these sickos out of here. I don't know where they came from. I don't know. There's something wrong with these people's brains if they think a 10 or 12 or 13-year-old girl is sexually attracted. There's something wrong with this world, folks. And I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want nothing to do with this madness. I hope someone cleans this country up quick. I hope they do something. Here we are, law-abiding citizens. We might have been sinners when we were young men, but we seen the light. We changed our lives. Now we walk that thin line. We don't go out deliberately and breaking laws or whatever, stealing and doing whatever to make $1. Now we're law-abiding citizens, and now we see things a different way. It's unreal. Blind, but now we see. Maybe, I don't know. And even in my darkest, deepest madness of drugs and madness and psychoillusional delusions of my own disability, I never hurt anybody. Because I know in my brain, you hurt somebody, even with a disability or whatever, you're going to go to jail. That's the law. The law is the law. All right, you ladies have a great day. I want to thank all you folks for showing up today. And have a beautiful Sunday and enjoy your family and kids. And if you don't have family and kids, then enjoy your Sunday with God and beautiful things that you love to do that bring peace to you or make you feel good. And God bless, and I'll be back with more Delphi stuff. And as time goes on, and voices, why didn't they? I can go on and on. I'm starting to get like Miss Alex Erickson with my goodbyes. Right? Be 3 hours later, still be here saying goodbye. Right? But there's a lot of questions I want to bring up. I get all excited and I want to bring this stuff up and everything. And I forget it. It leaves my brain. I need to start writing stuff down when it comes to this stuff. But I got so much music and movie crap in my head, it's hard to put any acknowledgement inside my head about crime. But I'm doing the best I can. Now, you folks be safe, and remember, we have no idea what happened in this case. We don't know how many there was. So actually, some of these people could be out on the street. They might not have been there, but they belong to the club or gang that all these guys belong to, or secret organization. So, and there's numerous tests I would have done. If we had Richard Allen in my possession, I would have opened up the girl's phone. I would have reopened up Snapchat if all this was recorded on Snapchat. And I would have had Richard Allen walk down the bridge using the girl's phone to record him. And then I would have had Richard Allen repeat exactly what we heard in her camera, on her phone, to make sure we get the closest match, and I would have ran it back and see if it matched with what we seen. There's numerous things that are in there because these apps use compressors, they use limiters, they use filters built into the app. So we have no idea if we're seeing the real version of Bridge Guy or even hearing his real voice because of compressors, limiters, gates, filters, gain, compression, all kinds of stuff that's already built into the app that they're using. So it's very interesting. And God bless you all. I'm ending this video before I go on, and I've been watching too many of the great YouTubers because now I'm 6-hour goodbyes. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. God bless. I'll be back with an outdoor video here in a little while. Have a great day. Folks, make sure you check out all the people's in my chat channels, Miss Pointer Lover. If Miss Pointer Lover, you ever want to post your channel or anyone's channel, feel free to, Miss Melly, go ahead. Make sure you check out these ladies' channels. Have a great day. I'll be back. God bless.